Alrighty, so I just finished grading the work from the Thursday item for week 5, and this content for week 6 has been released already. So I don't know if I've seen anybody work on it yet. So so it's ready to go for you. And then the one thing I wanted to follow up was some of the feedback, and this is great that I saw on Project Zero. Some people were like, one thing I wanted to clarify is that you either are going to choose one or the other. So if you choose to do a personal site, that's cool, right? And I'm actually thinking I'm going to have you make a decision right here because I'm going to work on week 7 this weekend. So you're going to have to make a decision because the thing is the last part of this class is going to go so quick that you need to have, even if you're like later I want to change it, I'm going to be like, no, you need to stick with that because every week we're going to be building something related to this project, which is the other thing I heard people saying. It's like, how are we going to get this thing built? And the thing is with Project Zero, and just keep this in mind, oh, that's just that's the comment. But when we look at the requirements for week 0, Project Zero, is that it's 21 pages, but depending on if you choose 4 or 5, and most choose 4, right? Those are organizing pages, right? So they're not full content, although I want you to have some content on them, right? So when you look at it, so you'll have an index page. You'll have a page for each menu item, and if you're not sure what that means, don't worry. We're going to cover that in the coming weeks, right? And then, so if you subtract, let's say 5 from this, then that shows you how many pages you actually have to create. And again, you don't have to use, and this is where it's going to be, it may make the decision for some folks, right? Is that you can choose content from our lectures, our hands-on, our current topics. Or you can go in another direction and choose like your own site building, something like that. And if there's another topic, I would just need to hear that, right? So that you and I could have at least a conversation about what that would be. But the nice thing about using this course and organizing content into these categories is that you can use content you've already created, which might lead some people to do that, okay? So, and then I'm going to rewrite this a little bit later, I'm going to have you submit, of course you're going to submit your URL, okay? So that's normal. And then you will grade yourself, okay? So, I think that's really the majority of, like, it was just a concern about how are we going to, how am I going to get there? It sounds like a fun project. I'm looking forward to doing it. And so this week we move into the next logical step. And this is finding a template. Now, obviously, there's 2 videos here to help you. And I created these last weekend. And on the second one, I actually created another video inside of here, inside of part 2. Oh, I'm glad I looked. I actually haven't posted that link yet, so I need to do that. Is I actually created a second video to help you, because this part of choosing, scrolled up, the template and then getting to know the template is going to be different for each person because their template is different. And I chose a Bootstrap 4 template, and I'll talk about how I'm going to use this because I am going to build something, because it's been a couple of semesters since I built something for this project, because I have something, and I'll show you soon, I built before. So just know that on these 2, right, that the content in here gets a little bit, and it'll seem a little confusing just because, and I'm bringing up my site now, and this is my site as a result of doing the 2 lectures, right? So the week 6, where I first have you copy, and then I have you start minimizing the things that you bring over, and only bring over what you need, and that requires, I've shown you mine, and yours again will probably look different. And I'm not, actually I realize, and that's part of what I'm going to finish before I record, is I'm going to finish my process here. And so you're like, what are you talking about? Well, you'll hear this here, right? We'll start it here, and we'll talk about it here, and you will end up doing some documentation. The more time you spend on this, really it's these 2 actually. It's actually here, now that I think about it. Yeah. So this is the Thursday part 2. Yeah. So that's it. Because anyway, doesn't matter. It's the video was there. I just forgotten where I put it. So I just want to give you that heads up. And the other thing is I had heard from a couple of you about wanting to go to DevFest. Well, I acquired my tickets and I have 66 tickets to give away. So if you're wanting to go, now is the time to tell me. I think I heard from one person in this class. Remember, 3 folks from Google, 9 to 3 on Saturday, October 20th. If you want to check out the website, valleydevfest.com. I know we're working on the schedule this weekend of who's talking when. But that is happening really not too far away. And I'm going to start going around to the classes on campus and starting giving away tickets. So if you're interested, because I think I should be able to give away 66 tickets pretty well. So jump in there if you're interested. So my weekend task is actually to look ahead. I've already done some planning here for what we have coming in week 7. So I have a lecture on search engine optimization, CMSs and payments. We're going to work through here, and I think the only thing I'll need to do is find new content here because we've already got a template. And again, I actually really think this reorganization of the course has been very helpful. We do need to get back to a few concepts in week 7 and 8 just to make sure we cover some of those things, like we'll look at the cloud services to have you have an understanding of that. But because we've covered some stuff earlier, then I'm going to look for new content on optimizing images. So I like the way it's working. I know some of you have run into stumbling blocks with GitHub, but you've come to see me. I think most people who ran into that were able to get you over that hump. But I'm going to say this one more time, is that from now on you should never change content out on the web interface. Your source is local, and you should only be pushing code up to GitHub, either the private repo or your GitHub pages. Okay? All right, have a good weekend, and I will talk to you later.